Alright, so Darci and Felicita just dropped me off at the airport. We actually had to leave from the last meetup and go straight to the airport because, I don't know, there's 4 little kids and Tom would like me home tonight, I think. So I just got here. I'm gonna see if I can find a quiet spot because I'd love to share with you just something that really stuck out with me throughout all of the stops. And well, there's so many things, but I'm gonna narrow it down to one thing. So. So right now this looks like a quiet spot, so we'll see how it goes. Okay. So it was really hot and sweaty at our last meetup, but it was so much fun. And so my hair is all frizzy. I changed my clothes as soon as I got here. I'm like, I'm gonna put my Minimal Mom t-shirt on because I am, see, I'm gonna cry now when I talk about all of this because I don't think either Darci or I realized how powerful it would be getting to meet you in person. And it's one thing to read all of your kind comments, but then to actually get to stand in front of you and talk to you and hear about the impact that the videos have is, there aren't words to describe. So I think both Darci and I are going back home with really full hearts, and I think feeling like this work that we're doing is just, it's important and it's meaningful. So thank you for that. Thank you to everyone who came out to the 9 different cities that we went to. I'll talk a little bit more about the trip at the end, but there was, I think, one thing that really stuck out with me throughout all of the stops. I think it's that we often try to do this alone, and I know sometimes it's because we just don't feel like there is anyone around us who gets it, but I think it's important for 2 reasons to bring someone else in. One, it's really helpful to have outside perspective. Sometimes they think of things and they see things differently than how we would see them. So it can be really helpful just to have someone else to ask the questions. You know, I have a printout, I'll link to it down below, but you know, have you used this in the last year? Could you use it, you know, could you replace it for $20? Could somebody else be using it? Is it actually selfish of me to be keeping it for someday when somebody could actually be using it today? But I think the other reason we need to include other people in this process is because we need the support. We need the emotional support. We need to feel like we're not in this alone. And I definitely know what it feels like some days to feel like we are just going at it alone and nobody understands. But what I want to encourage you to do is that if you do invite someone into this process, they don't have to fully grasp it. They don't have to want to be a minimalist. They don't even need to have to like want to clean their house. I mean, you could literally just invite someone over and maybe they're just looking for friendship too, or just for something to do or a way to be helpful, and just say, I just need an accountability partner for like 15 minutes. And I remember my sister had first called and asked if I would help her with her kitchen, and I was like, well, Diana, you know how to simplify your kitchen. Like, if you haven't like picked that up from me in the last 5 years, then I am a complete failure, and what am I even doing this for, you know? And it wasn't that she necessarily needed me to be there to make every decision with her. It was literally, she knew if I said, okay, I'm coming on Saturday at 10 o'clock and we're gonna work on your kitchen for an hour, then she would have to, on Saturday at 10 o'clock, work on her kitchen for an hour. And so, I mean, I would love it if you have someone in your context who like really loves this lifestyle too and really sees the value in simplifying. But if not, I mean, I think just inviting anyone into the process with you, I mean, maybe it's even an older child or a friend from church or from a homeschooling group or a mom's group or your mom, or I hope you could just say, I just need someone to come over and, you know, during that time I'm going to be working on this. The other thing that's fun is it could work for them to be at a distance too. So I've shared, my mom and I we only live like a mile apart, but she'll still, like when she's going like through some of her kitchen cabinets, she'll text a picture and she'll be like, okay, here's the before picture and I've been working on it for an hour, and here's the after picture, and here's the whole pile of stuff that I'm getting rid of. And she sends it to both my sister and I, and then we're like, yay, we cheer her on. And so even if it's not somebody locally close to you, maybe there is somebody that you could just, you know, do a text exchange with, and you could set goals together, or you could set times when you're going to work on things together, even if they can't physically be there. So I think that's my encouragement to you after just getting to just talk to you in person more and hear from you, is that we don't try and do it alone, because that is lonely, and I don't think we're meant to do things alone. So, as far as the trip goes, see, again, I'm probably gonna start crying now. I'm kind of tired too, but it was so awesome. Getting to spend the time with Darci and Felicita was so fun. Darci is so sweet. She is so kind. She is so encouraging. When I went down and met with her last November, I was feeling a little discouraged just because of the amount of time that this was taking, and I just was like, is this investment worth it? Is it time I should be spending with my family, or I should be putting into other things, or, you know, and she was just like, no, Dawn. And she, you know, she was the first person that was like, you need to keep going, you're gonna hit 100,000 subscribers. And so she was really one of the first people that fully believed in me. And it's one thing for your mom to say, you're gonna do awesome, you can do it, but to come from somebody who had been doing it and who's been there, it really meant a lot. So she is just one of my super fans, and I'm so grateful for her. She is so sweet, she is so kind, and she's just such an encourager. And so to get to spend the last week with her and Felicita was a joy. We had so much fun together. We stayed at Airbnbs. We had 3 that were like, or two that were super awesome, 1 that was really sketchy, and now we can just like laugh about that. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, right? And we're fine. We lived through it. It's, you know, now we can joke about it. We had to spend the night at Justin and Rebecca Rhodes' house in North Carolina, and that was so cool too. You know, you think you get to see kind of who people are and how they are on YouTube, but they are seriously too also of the just sweetest, kindest, but so generous. And you know, I would just kind of be like, ask a question a little bit, like, you know, I don't want to just be like asking them YouTube questions or camera questions and all that. And they just were so gracious to share what they've learned, and you know, and you see that on their channel with all the permaculture stuff and homesteading and all of that. I mean, they share so generously, so you wouldn't expect anything different, but they were so genuine, so hospitable, and so it was just so much fun to get to spend the night at their house too. And I don't know, I guess the whole week feels a little surreal. I definitely miss the kids. I'm excited to get back home. I had it the easy way though, because we were just busy and on the go most of the time, and they were just at home. I know how it is to be on that side. So I am excited to get home and to see them. Oh, I know, we got to also, we didn't get to do a lot of sightseeing along the way, so we went from Minneapolis to Chicago, Louisville, I don't say that right, I know, I learned that while we were there, Nashville and Asheville and Savannah. And so we didn't really get to do any sightseeing along the way because we were just kind of going boom, boom, boom. But when we got to Savannah last night, we had some downtime. So a sweet friend said, oh, go down to the historic district. And so we didn't make it to the ocean, but we did go down by the river, and we had dinner overlooking the river and got to see some cool things, a ferry boat and stuff down there. So that was kind of fun. So that was really kind of our only sightseeing that we got to do on the trip, but that's okay, because honestly, just getting to see you all and to hear your story, and I mean, so many stories of anxiety and chronic illness and feeling discouraged. So please know that you're not alone if that's something that you struggle with, and I am really glad that we can do this journey together, because we are so much more alike than we are different. And so I am really grateful for that, to get to do this with you. It's really a privilege and a pleasure. So I'm gonna stop now so I don't just like start crying again. But thank you again to everyone who came out. Thank you to everyone who watches. I hope I get to meet you someday too, because I think that would be so much fun, and this was so much fun. And so, you know, as always, a thumbs up is great. I'd love it if you subscribe so that we can spend more time together. And I'm excited to get home. Tom said he's been working on some projects on the house, and he was working on the video for Saturday, so I'm excited to see all of that. He said he has a surprise for me too, so you never know what Tom is up to when Dawn is not home. And so he always has fun surprises, so I'll share it with you. So we'll see what it is on Saturday. So thank you, I love you, and I will look forward to visiting with you again really soon.
Is this thing working? So I'm here at Panera, and I found the Minimal Mom's camera. She left it on the table, so I'm gonna go deliver it to her. I hope this works. Is this a good shot? Okay. Hi. Sorry. Here it is. Hi. Hey. I think this belongs to you. I don't know if I got a good shot like you, but here it is.
You're awesome.
Thank you.